child that your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place? Under cover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking. Under cover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking. Who'da stayed hung up? Who'da been knocked down? But here I stand, a man whose roots he understands, and I'm gonna hold my head up high. I was told as a young man.
It looks like we are live. I'm going to say welcome to the Inside Run podcast daily episode. It is Sunday, the 4th of August, 2024. A massive thanks to our Patreon supporters for supporting this project throughout the next 6 or 7 days. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's show with Bonita, Croaks and Moose. Thoroughly enjoyed that this morning when I was listening to it. And I've got 2 big names joining me tonight. The first one is a 4-time Olympian. First time he hasn't been at the Olympics since 2004. He's going to explain what we're seeing in the men's 1,500 metres and, how we feel about it as Australians. Jeff Riseley, welcome to the Inside Running podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brady.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to chewing, just throwing a few questions at you because you've been in the situation that those boys have been in a few times over your career. So got a few questions lined up. And our other co-host, 2023, most popular female distance runner in Australia. When we said we were doing this project throughout our Patreon comments, it was the most common name that come up. Ellie Pashley, welcome back to the Inside Running podcast.
Thanks, Brady. I think it's just the name they hear the most, probably.
And you say that every time, but the survey doesn't lie, Ellie. Your name come up the most. Welcome back. Give me an update. How's things down the Surf Coast?
Yeah, things are good down here. Yep, just ticking along, training through winter, but we had a nice sunny day today, so got out for a long run, which was good.
It's been beautiful. We will open the talkback lines a bit later on, maybe 15, 20 minutes time. The text line is live now. We can see comments coming through. So thanks to all the people sending in comments there. Comment already, Jeff. Jeff is the athletics coach at my daughter's school. So there we go. We've got a bit of a connection happening. And I was scrolling through Instagram today and noticed that you ran 30K. Was it 30K with like a pickup in there? It was a bit of a shock when I see a 1,500 meter guy doing that.
Yeah, I did 33 this morning.
33.
So that's my longest run ever. I did a 30K during COVID when everyone was pretty bored. And I did a 29 a couple of weeks ago. So I don't have an entry for marathon for Melbourne Marathon yet, but I'm sort of hoping that I might do that one just for a bit of fun.
Oh, we'll get you an entry.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting as. 10 weeks to go.
I haven't fully now I've done a couple of 30s and 32s, and I was a bit nervous, but I'm pretty committed now. So I'm 37, and I reckon I've got to get one done soon. Otherwise, it's just going to get harder and harder to do. So I've been doing a bit of running, and I'm pretty fit. So we'll see how the next 10 weeks goes.
So Moose mentioned on
from you, Ellie.
So Moose, Ellie will have some good tips. But Moose mentioned on our podcast last week that he was hoping to do Melbourne Marathon, and then an agency that represented Nike was very quick to be in his DMs saying that we've got a kit for you, we've got an entry for you, we've got whatever shoes you want for you. So we'll see what we can do from the Inside Running podcast end, and I reckon we can sort your marathon debut. Zach can
I was
do some
obviously with Nike for my whole career, so got some good friends and networks in there that I haven't texted yet, but I will. Chris Gordon's in Paris at the moment watching, so I'll be probably sending him a message in the next few days.
Yeah, surely they sort out you for all the years of support they've had. Let's go there first. We'll go to the 1,500 metres. So I woke up did you guys get up for this? 2:30, 3 a.m. this morning?
No, I watched it before my long run this morning while having a coffee.
Yep.
Yeah,
Stayed
me too.
off social
I thought about setting my alarm, and then the night before I'd woken up at some ridiculous hour and watched some of the races. So I thought, I better just sleep and I'll watch it in the morning.
Yep. Are you still at the stage, does Tiggy like randomly wake up and it can be like a blessing in disguise that it's the same time as the athletics is on?
She's been all right this week. A couple of weeks ago, we were having a lot of that. So that would have been quite handy if that was during the Olympics. But now she's been sleeping again now. So, yeah, no.
Well, Jeff, before we go to last night's results, I just want to read out a tweet that you did after the heats. So you put on Twitter, thoughts from the 1500 metre heats. Interesting that for the first time in a few years, those heats were run in a more traditional way, slow with a big kick, and it looked like a lot of athletes struggled with a change of pace. I wonder if everyone has gone too far down the strength double threshold in reaction to the last few major finals. I think this is what makes the 1500 metres so great, the delicate balance between strength and speed. Can't wait for the semi-finals and final. Much of a reflection since you put that out after what you saw last night?
No, sort of same thing. It's really hard. Obviously there's a lot of talk of Whiteman after Tokyo. He went and sort of felt that he needed to get a lot stronger, and yeah, it's sort of a hard one. You got to prepare these days to be ready to run 3:28, but then so you got to have strength and you got to have that sort of aerobic capacity, but then you've also got to be able to navigate your way through heats and semis, and when you go out in 60 seconds 60.5, it just opens it up to everyone, and then it becomes a little bit more of a lottery. So I don't know whether the repecharges had anything to do with the tactics and people sort of being a bit more conservative. And we've also sort of in the Jacob Ingebrigtsen era, and a lot of training does trend, and everyone follows what everyone else is doing, and it's just been a really big push, I think, towards that more strength and aerobic stuff. But then you sort of see some of those stronger guys, and everyone's kicking, and it just looked hard. So it's just some of my initial thoughts from watching the heats on Friday night.
How did you train, Jeff, when you were racing 8s and 15s?
I had years where I was running 160K a week, and then probably more around 120, 130. And then in the latter of my career, I was probably more like 80, 90. So, I think on reflection, I wish I'd done a lot more threshold. And I guess back in 2008 and 9, we probably didn't have there was probably lactate testing, but even our GPS watches weren't doing anywhere near the things we're doing now. So I think the threshold stuff would have been great for me as well. I spent a lot of years injured, so I think it's just a nice way. That's all I do for training now is threshold, because it's something I can get out and do, and it's just nice on my body, and I don't feel too beat up. I definitely had the aerobic flavor, but and then a little bit more speed. So probably more in the traditional way that Jake Whiteman trains, but without being able to run 7:30, 7:03K. So
were you concerned, both of you guys? Did you have any confidence that one or two or even three of those guys would have made it through the repecharge this morning, our time?
After watching the heats, I wasn't feeling very confident. And Ollie put himself in all the right spots, but in a race like that, I think the old Ollie would have been, top 3 in that race pretty easy. But I actually watched him in Monaco, and I just thought his rhythm and his turnover just didn't look like it was when he was sort of winning comm games. He just, I don't know, I didn't think he looked as good. And I listened to his podcast, and he was sort of saying they'd been at St. Moritz, and he just sort of felt like they hadn't done much of that work yet. And both him and Nagoose really struggled. And Ollie ran 3:31. You never really want to be losing to Ingebrigtsen by 5 seconds in, one of the last races of the year. And Monaco's a really hard one. I ran 3:33 there after being in Europe for a week. I was a bit sick from the aeroplane. pre super shoes or super spikes and ran 3:33. It's just like such a magical place that like you can run fast there and it can sort of potentially glare over maybe some of your deficiencies. And then even London, like there was all that controversy with the start and 3 of the main guys went down.